all that said, I'm about to bring up somebody who is the leader of the Geek Squad and kind of like the brains behind P4CM.com, which was recently launched. And that's just truly been a blessing to see. We always talk about it as people putting their gift down for Christ. And all those who are internet missionaries, people are buying laptops to be able to be on the internet and be able to infiltrate the internet with the gospel through their MySpace account, putting things on there, witnessing to people, emailing back and forth. And it's just a blessing. So without further ado, I don't know, TQ, aka Geek Squad Leader, aka...
All right. How's everybody doing? All right, I'm going to do a little update that normally Blair would do, and interestingly, Blair is still part of the update because she is, as you guys know, the spokesperson for the Passion for Christ movement. And something really tight that happened last week, like Kalisha was praying, she prays a lot that, that God would send people to us whose hearts are prepared to hear what God has to say to them. And it came through in the form of a submission to the website last week. A radio station in Portland who has a listenership of about 500,000 people, as well as a bunch of people who listen across the internet, submitted a form to the website saying could she come on their radio show. And she was able to be on there last Friday morning to interview about her poem, Reintroduced to Christ, and man, that message was able to be spread to instantly, 500,000 people who may or may not have heard of that word before, and the interview will speak for itself. I'm going to play a little clip of it, but you can go to p4cm.com to check it out. The whole thing is about 20 minutes long, but I'm going to play about 2 minutes of it, 2 or 3 minutes of it right now. And then also I cut it down to like 3 minutes, but the entire the entire audio of the interview is on p4cm.com. It's highlighted on the first page, so if you want to get a chance to listen to it, you can do that. So without further ado, I'll let these guys speak for themselves.
And this morning we have Blair Wingo. She's a model, actress, Christian spoken word artist, and that's kind of a, you take a poem and you take it and you just speak it, but the way you speak it's just a little bit different, a little bit more passion.
Our friend Brandon, who does the news, came into my office last week, I think, and he said, you need to check out this video. It's pretty incredible, called Allow Me to Reintroduce to Christ on GodTube. So I sat there and listened to it, and man, it was hard hitting. She had a lot of not too much politically Christian correct things to say. A lot of things that are very, very true, yet they hurt a little bit. So we wanted to get an interview with her and have her do that for us this morning. Blair, are you there this morning?
Yes, I am. Good morning. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Just the first question that comes to my mind is what inspired you to write this?
Wow, that's a good question. Actually, it started off with an idea my pastor had. And when you look at the poems, it really is just a reflection of what's going on here in Los Angeles at the Passion for Christ movement.
Blair, how can people look at some of the stuff you've done? How can they get in touch with that again? What is your website, and then how do they find it on GodTube?
Well, the website is p4cm.com. We just launched a brand new website there.
And you know what? Let's put a little disclaimer here, Blair. People, you may not want to watch these unless you want to get convicted by the Holy Spirit, and you may not want to watch these unless you're a content person who needs a Damascus Road experience. So if you're content being lukewarm, cold, wishy-washy, normal in your faith, and just existing, you may not want to watch any of these, because the reality is this will disrupt your life. At least I think. Blair, thanks for being on the air with us today. We'll have you back again and have you do some more poetry for us in the future. We appreciate you. We're praying for you, and thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just quickly cut out the parts that I thought were really hard hitting, as obviously you guys can see the same thing. But these cats testify to the power of what's going on that ministry. You heard that guy. I put that part at the beginning so you could hear you just say it a little more, passionate. but still, that guy brought Blair onto the radio because they do a talk show called the Rise with the Sun, S-O-N, talking about Christ. And they knew that message, at the beginning you hear him say that you ought to go call your friends, instant message your friends, tell them to get on. So you hear this poem. It's going forth, and I just wanted to say that, like, really briefly to summarize, that God is really after people who want to surrender their lives. He really is. And I wanted to say that, like, we don't have like an altar call here. I was kind of joking, Pastor Cox, that we should have an altar call. Well, we don't have it, man, because this church is the passion for Christ movement. And unless you surrender your life to God, you may not even want to join this church. And there's certainly not going to be an opportunity for you to come up and fake it by just thinking saying a prayer is going to be that way. Cats are going to have to surrender their lives, and people are willing to do that. So the people who came up here, those testimonies are the ones of people who surrender their lives to God, agree with Him, and are willing to follow Him to the end of the earth. And I just want to say one thing of encouragement to everybody else who was up here and who's like a new member. Jeff said this a lot. After a little while, one of the sisters said that I just feel like God's really moving in my life. There's going to come a time when you don't feel like that. And in those times, your persistence will have to come through by your belief in the finished work of Christ on the cross. And that's what's going to carry you past the emotion and the feeling to a true belief that'll result in what you see right here.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like that cat can tell what he's saying because it's true. Unless you're going to be convicted by the Holy Spirit, stay lukewarm. Because when God comes after you, He comes strong. And if you're willing to surrender when those feelings decline, you know, the belief is going to sustain. So that's all I have to say.